It's time to rewire your mind. Welcome to the Hayden Russo Show, the show that provides you with inspiration to help you succeed in life. Here's your host, Hayden Russo.
You're live here on Talk Zone. And this is the Hayden Russo Show. Thank you. We talked about a lot of topics on this show, and I've shied away from some of the issues and things that are going on in the world. But I felt that it's kind of like we need to tackle some of these issues. So today I want to speak about the shooting in Baton Rouge, where we had one person to be killed, and we don't have all of the facts to substantiate Mr. Alton Sterling cause of death. We know his cause of death, but we don't know the findings of that. But we want to give our condolences to the Alton Sterling family. We also want to give our condolences to the police officers' family as well. We want to also give condolences to the families of the police officers that were killed during a shootout. We also want to talk about the shooters. We want to give our their families and their friends. We want to pray for them as they're going through their trying times. But the reason that I'm speaking on this topic is not because of what's going on, because that's part of life, and we never want to see any police officers shot at the way that they were shot at and gunned down in this case, with their guards down. And all of this comes into play because I believe we throw race in the factor. And when you start throwing race into something and you start getting two different races just to begin competing and everyone getting their difference of opinion on what's going on, it begins to bring out these bad things. So I think that it's important that when we're within a state that we try to contain the activities between a police officer and a civilian. We have to not throw race into the picture, because race would only bring hate. Race would only bring what subsequently happened in Dallas. And nothing good come from that. Nothing good at all. You know, we are all human beings, and we choose our professions. Although some may choose to be a doctor, others may choose to be a lawyer. Some choose to be a police officers. Others choose to be, whether you're selling drugs or whether you're selling CDs, as in Mr. Alton Sterling case, or Whether you mow lawns or you work at Publix, whatever profession you choose, that's your particular profession that you choose. It's a profession. It does not have color. You choose a profession to be a police officer. It doesn't have color. No, but what is behind each and every one of those professions is the human being. And no matter what you do, and no matter who you are, your mindset will still be the same person, whether you put on a doctor's uniform, a lawyer, or the Publix uniform, or a deli uniform, whatever occupation you choose, you're still that person behind the scenes. So when I see all of these large crowds and everything, and I start seeing people shooting at police, I am concerned. Okay. Let me give you a personal experience. When I was selling drugs, I had plenty of police officers that would take my money. I had police officers that would come into the areas where I had purchased an apartment, and it's my dope house. And when they would come to raid, they didn't want the drugs. They wanted the money. At the same time, while I was playing the good guy during the day, there would be other police officers that would take me fishing, that would invite me to their homes. We would sit out on the patios and they would cook and make sandwiches for me, trying to draw me out of the streets. They saw something good in me, although I had not seen it in myself. So I was playing both sides of the equation. Okay. So when it began to escalate, where I started making more money and I started taking my activities out of state, and for all of you that may be listening saying that, hey, he's committed a crime, no, I've already served my time for the things that I'm speaking about. Okay. I even had police officers on payroll. I just, we lock the stuff up in the trunk and I get in the back seat and lay down and the police drive me to my destination. I had other police officers that would, during my daytime, right? I got to be a good boy during the day. I was in trouble. So I was in a halfway house. And during this halfway house, you had the volunteers that were there. They were police officers and they cared about the kids. And they were giving back to the community. But I chose the path that I chose to continue selling drugs. So when I started taking my activities from state to state, then the same things happened. State troopers would pull you over and would take your money. It used to be a big thing where, the state troopers, they were no longer concerned with going out of the state. They was just controlling what was coming in the state, and it was a lot of money being taken. Okay. In most cases, believe it or not, my attorney went back the very next day and got every dime back. Whether they took 50,000, 100,000, I was 16 years old. My attorney went back and got every dime, of course, with a 20% commission. However, it was illegal what they were doing, but they're humans. Now, why are you saying all of these things, Hayden? Why are you speaking about you, and what the police did to you? Well, let me tell you why. Although it was the black officers that came within the community to take my money, it was white and black officers and Spanish officers that was taking my money when I was on the highway. Not one time did I ever want to pick up a gun and shoot at a damn police officer. Are you serious? We do not shoot at the individuals that are here to protect the public. How would you live with yourself if something like that was to happen? This is my opinion. Only people that have mental problems shoot at police. You do not shoot at police. Now, do I agree with some of the things that I've seen in the past with shootings and guns? No. Will I inject race into it? No. Would I want to pick up a gun to go shoot at a police? No. Do I think it's cool? No. Nobody wins in these type of situations. Nobody wins. Everybody suffers. On the police department side, the police officer suffers. His wife and kids suffers. His mother and father suffers. His friends and the people that love him suffer. On the victim side, whether just or unjust, you have the victim. You have their wife or significant other and their kids. You have their siblings. You have their mothers and fathers. You have their friends and people that care and want to do for them. People that love them. When we begin to look at these situations, we cannot allow race to be injected into situations. We cannot allow people to push some agenda. We cannot continue to allow the media whether it's TV, radio, newspapers, that is profiting from spreading the bad news. None of the funds that are being made and all of the billions of dollars that's being made right now over these stories, none of those funds will be shared with the families, whether on the police officer side or on the victim side. No one will help the officer with a defense fund. No one would come up with a barrier fund for the victim. Why? Because when we continue to use the same old methods that's been used in the past to deal with these issues, we'll continue to get the same results. It's time to take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this.